Hi, I'm Renee Kennedy at AAA Life Solutions, and I'm here today to talk to you about the biggest regrets that a lot of our retirees have. And we don't want that for you. So we thought we would just break it down a little bit in a concise way so that you might really think about some of these purchases and things if you're getting ready to retire and how that might affect you. So, one of the biggest regrets that people have is they don't have a plan. And we've seen people run through $1 million in 3 to 7 years. And if they are following what the old rules say, which is if you have $1 million and you only take out 4%, then you should be fine for the rest of your life. But like many of you now, you realize that that's not the case. Because if you lose 20 to 40% in 1 year, that is destroying this rule, and you're not going to be able to make it up, especially if you are pulling money out. So we look at a formula that we really stay true to, and it's total return equals income, which is your lifestyle, plus growth. And we don't want you to have all your eggs in one basket and all your retirement in one or two accounts. We want to do that through diversification. But we try to factor in, we have a report called our Income and Tax Assessment Report that is possible that when we do our seminars that you can get that for free through certain qualifications and stipulations. And we do that because we see the value in what we offer our clients in planning. We need to have a tax plan. We need to know how much of your Social Security is going to be taxed. What are your RMDs going to be? How do you project that with unknown tax rates? And should you be taking out more now or more later? And do you have enough to retire? Are you going to run out of money? Some of the big purchases that we've seen that retirees come to regret is number one, they buy that boat or that brand new RV. Now, I'm in no way saying that you shouldn't have fun in retirement, because absolutely you've worked hard for this money. It's your money, and we want you to enjoy your life. However, if you're going to live to be 100, and I know some of you are saying, Renee, I'm going to have a heart attack and die in my sleep, and heart issues run in my family, or cancer, and I know I'm not going to make it to 100. But in the next 10 years, we're going to have some incredible medical breakthroughs with AI. Nothing we've ever seen. It will almost seem miraculous to some of us older folks that have lived through so many different life experiences. But think about this. If you were to buy that boat brand new, or that RV brand new, what happens to it when you drive it off the parking lot or that dealership? It goes down in value. And we have seen people that get sick, and now that brand new RV or boat is just sitting in the storage, which is also a cost, and they're not able to do what they thought they could do, so they have to sell that boat or RV at a reduced price from what they just paid for it. Another thing that we've seen people regret is buying a cabin on the lake, and then maybe the spouse passes and they don't want to go there anymore, because that is a serious thing that we've seen happen in multiple cases. And those properties are not as easy to sell, especially in a depressed real estate market, which I believe we're about to embark on. We've already seen home prices go down in Florida and Arizona, and every state is going to be affected in some way or another. Another regret that we've seen them have is buy their dream house. Wait until they're retired and buy this mansion. Well, the problem with that is, it's a little harder to do steps for me now than it was even 3 years ago. I hurt my knee, tore my meniscus, and now the idea of always doing steps is not in my long-term horizon. Another thing that we see people regret, and not only the stairs and the logistics of a dream home, but the upkeep. So you have to factor in, when you get older, you've got to pay someone to do the yard and take care of the pool and do the small repairs around the house that maybe you or your husband were able to. Even painting a room becomes more difficult. So that dream house can be a money pit, not only for the price that you're paying for it, but the opportunity cost that it can be in the future. I'm not saying don't have your dream house. I'm just saying make sure that the design and the expenses are within your future budget and factor in inflation for that. Another one is helping family members. You know, little Billy wants to start a business and he knows that mom or dad is about to retire and they're going to get their 401k. Now, sometimes parents will borrow from their 401k to help a child, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, because we love our kids and they're all entrepreneurs and we help them in various ways, and we're excited to see the great things that they do. But is there a contract? Is there a plan in place so that little Billy has to pay you back? If you're going to give them $50,000 or $100,000 for something, is there a plan in place for you to get that money back so that maybe you can make a profit? And that might go against your grain, but we really want people to think about the money aspect and the business aspect, because this 401k or retirement is usually your largest asset. You have to think of it like a house. And when you're young, not only do you have to think about how are you going to buy a house, but you need to be thinking about what kind of tax sheltered accounts that you can put money in and how much can you save. So if you are house poor or car poor, then you are going to be poor and you're not going to have a way to get out of it. And we don't want that for you. We want you to have a plan. No retiree of ours has ever said, gee, I wish I had spent more time with my job. They don't say that. We hear them say, I wish I had stopped along the way and smelled the roses before I got sick or before my business went down. We've seen businesses go down during COVID. We don't know what AI is going to do in the future. There's going to be some wonderful, incredible things, but we need to have a plan in place. Is our job protected? Are there things that we can do now to learn AI and figure out how to get better at it so that we don't get left behind? And, I'm part of the baby boomers and we're called the greatest generation. Well, I think the kids that are growing up right now that are teenagers are going to be the next great generation. And they're not going to have a chance if we don't put some things in place now for them so that they have access to some lump sums of money. A lot of retirees say, gosh, I wish I had saved more money. Some of them started saving at a very young age, and congratulations to you if that is you. If you can pay your church and your tithing, and then you can save money for yourself, that's the ideal way to do it. But when you get to retirement and you realize that you don't have enough money, it's devastating. And if you start and you think, wow, I finally got enough, I'm just going to work one more year, and then hopefully I'm going to make another 5 to 8%, and then I'll have enough to retire. Well, now you might find out that you've got to work 5 more years because of what's going on in the market. And I'm here to tell you, it's not done, y'all. It is not done. If we look at charts and graphs, we see that the market is still overvalued and it has to go back to the mean. And right now that's showing that it's about 50% overvalued. So where do you put your money and what do you do? Those are some questions that we answer at AAA Life Solutions, and we are very serious about it. We use reports. We have an income and a tax assessment report so that you can look at that and know what your numbers are before you set that retirement date. Another thing that we find that retirees are surprised about, besides regrets, is there's things they didn't know. And taxes is a big part of that. A lot of people don't know that a portion of your Social Security is taxed. A lot more people know that now. But one of the things we encourage people to do is if you retire at 62 or 65 and you live to be 100, what are you going to do for the next 30 to 40 years? What if you set up some little side business so that you had some write-offs? Because you can't write off your kids anymore. You can't write off your home. That's usually paid for by the time you retire. So where are you going to get some write-offs? You need to have another business. And I'm not saying you've got to work 40, 60 hours a week like you have, but what do you love? Look for those things that you love and find a space. Learn about AI. Learn how to put together a plan on ChatGPT or Grok. There are so many exciting, wonderful educational tools that we can use on YouTube like this every day. So, lastly, a lot of retirees are afraid to talk to their financial advisor. And the reason why is because they played golf with them, or they were their husband's friend, or they worked with their wife. And, that shouldn't be. This is your money. This is your life. This is your business. So you don't want to hope and pray and close your eyes that you have enough to retire. You need to know those numbers. And your advisor should be helping you mitigate the taxes, have some projections for you, have some idea about what kind of income you can get. And you need to be strong and take it serious enough and not just do what the crowd has done. Because I'm telling you, we are like a herd of buffalo about to go over a cliff. And when that happens, you're going to be right there with them, and you're going to be wishing and hoping, and hope is not a strategy. We don't want you to have regrets. We want you to feel empowered, and we want you to know that you're going to be okay, and the future is bright. But the next 12 to 18 months is going to be rocky, and there's lots of reasons for that. And you don't have to be in that boat. You can change directions. Just don't wait too late. Don't let your money lose another 20% before you make a decision. So at this time, you don't need a wishbone. You need a backbone. So stand up for what you want and get it. And we will help you. Thanks.